Greetings, fellow men. Servus Männer. It's Red Pill Germany again, and today I again want to talk about Brexit, and I want to give you a little personal information about that. I had really a shit ton of overtime this week, so I really couldn't make another video during the week, and I also don't want to reread the news to you. Other people on YouTube covered the Brexit and the aftermath quite excellently, I think. What I want to do instead, I want to briefly re-examine what happened and then make a comparison to something that happened to me, not with other countries, but with other people in my personal life. So what was going on this week? A country holds a referendum and the people declare that they don't want to be a part of the EU anymore. They don't want to be part of the club anymore. They don't want to live by the same rules and basically bail out other nations and be financially bound to other countries, right? The reaction to that of the people in the club who were left was rather irrational and rather strong, very emotional, I would say. So, as you might know, that Nigel Farage got booed at when he was speaking in front of the European Parliament. I mean, this is rather childish behavior and it's very rude. And of course you have seen how eagerly the mainstream media, especially in the UK, adopted the fake story, the hoax basically, by 4chan about the petition for another referendum with 300,000 petitioners from the Vatican State and stuff like that. Also, the overall praise that the Scottish National Socialists received by left-wing and especially by foreign media is very disquieting in my point of view. I mean, here you have actual National Socialists and they are praised as the good people from the UK because they want to stay in the EU. I think that's rather bizarre. Also, of course, the grotesque notion that this referendum is somehow not legitimate because mostly old people voted for leave is it's really, I mean, I cannot take this serious anymore because as the demographics in Western country is, you could say that about any election because it's always more the old people who are the deciding factor because they are more in numbers. So whatever the election or the referendum or the outcome would be, you could always say, oh look, it was the old people, that's unfair. So yeah, that's the democracy in which we live and that's the age structure of our society as it is, so what the hell. And maybe these older people, just maybe, they can still remember how it was before the EU and that it wasn't all bad and horrible and that diversity and growth and wealth didn't come because of the EU. They know that full well. Okay, but as I said, you're very familiar with these news items, of course, and I don't want to comment further on it. What I want to say, what I want to relate to you today is what happened to me while I was actually sharing a house with some colleagues when I was a student. And this is the reason why I don't want to cohabitate with anybody anymore and why I want to live by myself, why I want to go my own way. So those guys back then were lefty, over-organized Germans, and they really made lists for everything. They made lists for whose turn it is to clean the apartment, to who has to go shopping next time, and who paid exactly how much for groceries and gasoline. And all these things are fine and well, but the problem is that they just wanted to divide it equally among the people. And I cooked for myself. I worked out a lot, so my diet was very clean, lots of vegetables and lots of lean meat and all that good stuff, right? And I cooked for myself while they were drinking a lot of soda and they had a lot of ready-made meals and all that stuff. So their nutrition was crappy and I could not eat the things that they ate and they always bought stuff for everyone, right? And the end result was that I needed to go shopping again to buy the stuff that I want when they said, oh, but the fridge is full, everything is there, why do you worry, huh? Why do you complain? And then at some point I said, look guys, no hard feelings here, it's okay, you want to have your system, but you know, I have a very special diet compared to you and I just don't eat the things that you eat, and I think we can leave the gasoline list for the car, that's all fine, but as far as groceries are concerned, I want to opt out of the common list. I don't want to be on that Excel spreadsheet anymore. I do my own shopping. I have my own compartment in the fridge, and we just have very different kinds of diets, and I don't think it makes sense. You wouldn't believe the treatment they gave me. I mean, you would almost assume that I wanted to leave the EU based on their reactions. I mean, they really called me a splitter and that I'm antisocial and that I don't want to take part in the community anymore. And I thought I'm in some kind of grotesque movie, like some Kafka novel or something. That was really grotesque behavior at that point. I just said that I want to pay for my own groceries. That's all. And they made it into this big deal how I'm just an antisocial person and horrible. And I thought we have a community here. That was completely irrational. But the thing is that they knew that they profit from me. They knew fully well that I was basically paying part of their expenses. So they wanted the system to go on like that. And of course, they masked that and they described it as something of a community affair. And it's nice to have a community and all these things. But I mean, we can still watch TV together and have friendly conversations and get along quite well without sharing grocery costs. It's just very I don't see the connection there. I just think it's stupid. But that is exactly what they wanted. And then they try to shame me and to guilt me and to attack me and saying that I'm just an antisocial person in order to keep me paying for their stuff, to have access to my wallet still. And that is exactly what happens now with the UK, I think. They say that they're nationalist and that they're racist just so that they can still have them in the EU, so that they have them for bailout money and for redistribution of national wealth and all these nice things that the socialists love so much. And of course, also the elite in Great Britain wants to have access to seats in the European Parliament and to the European Commission, of course. And this is another reason why they fight tooth and nail for staying in the EU, of course, because these are effortless jobs for some old grandpa or for some young person without any skills, just like Nigel Farage said. I mean, those people sitting in this parliament, they have never worked in the real world. They have never had a job. They never had to compete in the market. They're basically useless people sitting in a parliament making millions on the taxpayer's dime. That is really disgusting. But he is fully right. I mean, this man steps in front of those people and tells them, you are useless. You never had a job that helps other people. And I think this is glorious. This is great. This is awesome. But you see how these people react, and not to that thing that Nigel Farage said, but to the fact that the UK is leaving the EU. And that is just the same really emotional, really panic reaction almost that I got from my flatmates back then when I decided to not be in that communist little grocery Excel spreadsheet of them. That I really was surprised. I thought, I just tell them, by the way, guys, this doesn't really work out with my diet and this food thing. Maybe we should have separate lists, or separate. We should separate those expenses. And I was not prepared for what was coming. But now I understand that, of course, because now I thought about the psychological processes and what these community or group-based thinking people, how they are thinking, what their way of thinking is. They need the group. They don't want to go their own way. They are group people. They want everyone to participate so that whenever they don't feel like it or they're weak or lazy, they can fall back and let the others take over. That is their plan. They are the ones who profit the most from these group arrangements, of course, because they are exploiting the others. While I was still paying for their food, but I was effectively always paying for my own food anyway because I don't eat shit, because I was trying to get healthy and trying to work out a lot and also eating healthy, and they didn't. So that didn't work out really. And I think it's the same thing with fiscal policy. I mean, it's at least similar, right? There are some countries who try to better themselves while others just take on more and more debt, and they then say, oh, but we're a group here. We have common values. We're like a family. We should help each other. But in fact, they just want to exploit the others. So I hope that my little personal anecdote was enlightening for you guys, and maybe you had a situation in your life where people try to force you to stay in a group because they profit from you in that situation, but they cannot openly admit that, and then they use words like community and social and all these things just to shame you into staying attached to that group and to being exploited by them also in the future. So I would say it's better to go your own way, and if people are too mafia-like and too clingy as a group and use too much shaming, yeah, better cut them out of your life. That's what I did, and I'm happy with it, I can tell you. So, that's my 2 cents for today. Thanks for stopping by. See you guys again soon and have a great day. Servus, Kameraden.